good friend Mike Maurer with the
Hey,
intro,
hey,
and I just X'd it and I cut it right off.
what are you
Oh
doing?
gosh, I hit the wrong button, Selby. We
Bunton,
are we are a week, like 2 weeks out from our last podcast. I'm a little out of practice.
are you rusty?
I'm rusty. Here, let's give Mike the proper low.
There we go.
Welcome to Informed Opinion. As I stated, this is good friend Mike Maurer, local Denver blues guy, and he rips it. So look him up,
Rippin'.
find him, and support him. Support local music. Support all music, but specifically local music.
Well,
With
yeah,
me,
because guess what? Concert tickets for $400 each are not cutting the mustard.
right. With me, Scott Leisure, as always, is extraordinary, the amazing, the dignified,
Oh,
the classy,
oh, thanks.
professional
Mm-hmm. That's me.
Jackie Selby. Welcome back, my friend. It's been 2 whole weeks.
What are you
Jack,
doing?
prior engagement last week, so we took a week, Labor Day, kind of did our thing. Yeah, went and checked out Casa Bonita.
Hey, hey.
You still really don't go for the food. I mean, it was better. It was
How were
okay.
the cliff divers?
Wet. They were fun. It was neat. It was cleaner. The handrails were still a little sticky, which was weird. They have a nice little like museum thing set up with like old menus and shit like that. Overall, I
But
had
the
to go through
cheese
a
was
metal.
still
Bottom line, Selby, I had to go through a metal detector so I could get some sopapillas. Okay,
okay. The cheese is still Velveeta. Go ahead.
sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But it was fun. It was a good time.
Good.
And then made my annual pilgrimage to Red Rocks and saw Duran Duran.
Oh boy.
And their sound, Selby, was jacked up. I can't believe I haven't seen more posts, going onto their Twitter page and reading what people say, but then they probably delete all the bad ones anyhow. I did Google like bad sound, Red Rocks, Duran Duran, and I found a thread where some other people in other cities had said the same thing. So I wasn't just losing my mind.
Really?
Yeah. Bastille was probably the best band of the night. I mean, Duran Duran sounded good. They were off. And Niles Rodgers kicked ass. That guy is worth like $200 million. He's produced.
He is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Madonna, he covered all these songs. It was great, man. And they sounded tight.
Oh, good.
Good times. And rain. You can't go to Red Rocks without getting rained on, so good times. Good times. Lest we forget that tomorrow,
Cash Friday, baby.
banknotes, baby.
Banknotes.
Banknote Friday. I don't know. There's better cash tags with Cash Friday and Cash is King and all that good stuff, isn't there?
Cash forever.
Cash. Now, here's what happens if you pay with a card. This is Jackie and I we preach about it because it's something that we're passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do our part, mainly like what goes on through the whole podcast. We're just trying to give you information that you might need, that you might find beneficial to live your life better, to live your life longer, which we'll get into, and just to,
Hey, Cash, for crying out loud.
do the right thing.
That's all I'm going to say the whole show. For crying out loud.
If I have this $20 bill,
yes,
and I go to get a haircut and I pay with my $20 bill, my hair stylist, the person that styles my remaining hairs, She
What's
then
left
takes
of it?
she then takes the $20 and maybe she goes to Starbucks and gets a coffee. Okay.
Hopefully not at Starbucks, but go ahead
Wherever, to the local coffee shop.
to the local coffee shop. Fine, fine.
Now, then that gets broken down. It goes into tips. Now that money, what happens, Jackie, is this 20 never loses its value. Now, if you're paying, with your plastic or with your hand, creepy.
Don't say it. Yeah.
Each time that thing swipes, there's a percentage going to the bank. Every time.
Every time.
Every flipping time.
So I went to Aunt B's restaurant and they
Tell us about that adventure.
They gave me a discount for paying cash.
Good old Mayberry.
Mayberry, which is really Mount Airy, North Carolina. I drove way up there.
And you went to the Andy Griffith Museum.
And then I went down to Mount Pilot, which is really Pilot Mountain. Real name of the town is Pilot Mountain. And there was Aunt B's. So I stopped in there and got some mountain southern cooking.
Mm-hmm.
And there were jars of pickles, if you remember the pickle episode, and also jellies and jams from Aunt B's. And they gave me a discount for paying cash.
Amen.
Yeah.
Maybe Mayberry. Say that 5 times fast.
Maybe Mayberry, maybe Mayberry, maybe Mayberry, maybe Mayberry, maybe Mayberry, maybe Mayberry.
Professional. Maybe it still exists in this world. You think?
I don't know.
A little bit of Andy Griffith, a little bit of Opie, a little bit
all
of
us.
yeah,
a little bit of rock and roll.
what was the drunk that always ended up in the jail cell?
Otis. They had his costume behind glass. They had the keys that they used to open the jail cell.
Sounds like a good time.
It was fun.
It's fun.
Cash discount.
And the Zoomer went to, we have a historic amusement park here in Colorado, here in Denver, the Mile High City, Lakeside. The woman that owns Lakeside, true story, she doesn't want to invest money into it because she wants to keep it affordable for the neighborhood, which is fair. Rhoda is her name. And she, they promote cash as well.
Oh, they do?
Mm-hmm. Yippers. It's not dead. We need to hold on to it. We
do.
We spew a lot about that, but like I said, it's important. It's really important.
We're casual about it. We're not, listen, it's important.
What were all those countries they joined?
BRICS.
Yes. China.
Listen.
Iran.
If we go to a BRICS currency.
Yeah.
If we go to a BRICS currency, we're going to lose 55% of the dollar. Now, you don't want that to happen. That does not exclude inflation or any of the other things that are facing the destruction of our buying power in general. So you do not want the dollar to die. But the USA is not here to lose either. Is that your sword? Oh, it's a feather. Didn't they say that you can find, if you really look, you'll find a feather every single day? Every single day, Selby. I do. There's a lot of birds where I live. Yeah, I charged this one under the full moon the other night. Oh, good. Yeah. So generally, if you're just joining us, Jackie and I will dive into some things. We'll have some lighthearted discussions. Mm-hmm. We will
dish some information. We will give, opinions on both sides. And then we'll kind of try to end on a higher plane as I disappear again.
Your arm disappeared.
So let's start with the bad.
All right, let's start with the bad.
Okay, Oprah Winfrey. No. See what I did there?
Listen, we've
Oprah,
talked about her multiple episodes.
Oprah and The Rock. So
Yeah.
basically it goes like this.
All right.
You can choose through any platform via this wonderful internet, where you want to find your information. Okay. There are plenty of forums. There's plenty of ways. Just GTS, Google that shit, find out what aligns with the other stories. If things aren't adding up, it's probably because they're not adding up. If things are adding up, it's probably because they are. I mean, that's math 101.
Google is also, I'll just throw in, Google is also highly censored. Okay.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to know what you're reading.
Yeah. And anything, if you just Google, lawsuits, Oprah Winfrey or whatever like that, you may not get what you want. If you Google pedophilia and scandal to do with Oprah Winfrey and her schools, you'll see that she was shocked about it.
Yeah. If you Google Africa school Oprah, you 3 words and just read what comes up. I mean,
yeah.
Here's my take, Selby. And we're going to go back a little ways into our childhood days in the story of the big bad wolf. Now, when the big bad wolf was going to prey on 3 little pigs, did the big bad wolf knock on the door as the big bad wolf? Or did the big bad wolf, dress up like Little Red Riding Hood?
Little Red Riding Hood. Remember that song?
Oh, yeah. I wonder if that's
Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs.
I wonder if that's in the book. That's a good one.
Better look in your book.
Let's remember to post that song.
Yeah.
Now, getting back to numbers. I've been a little, I wouldn't say passionate, but I'm just into this Maui thing. It's beyond surreal to me. My opinion, it's beyond surreal what's going on. And it's in the middle, the very middle center of the ocean, away from everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
The northwesternmost part of Maui is Lahaina,
where information can get muddled. Muddle's a good word. I have chosen to follow this guy, and I mean, I still hold a little openness to say maybe there's something going on there too. But from what I've watched, I feel okay with watching him and getting information from him. Let me just say that. Eric West, he's a realtor. He's got a kid here at CSU. He graduated from Colorado, University of Colorado. Deion Sanders. And I mean, he was selling real estate on all these islands before this thing happened. So he knows the layout. He's been there about 15 years. He's not a native.
So as soon as things happened, he started flying drones.
He drove up to this hill, and right. I mean, he had put up a 10-minute video of the fire, just at its peak, and it's just unreal.
Yeah.
And then he started. Yeah. Then the next day, there's an hour or an hour and a half video just of drone footage, which now they won't allow drones. So if you really want to see what it looked like the day
and what the
after
the
fire,
border lines were. Yeah.
Yeah. It's but then he's come under fire because the same thing with Oprah. Where's the money going? What are we doing with this? What are we doing with that? So now he lost his job with Keller Williams. And he now has gone into like a mode where he's talking to people. He basically has to go make videos with the people he gave the money to so people don't think he's stealing it. He's come under some fire, but I'll choose watching that guy who's like there.
Yeah.
Who watched it all go down and has been documenting it all. And basically what he started doing was uploading it all and saving it all for when these property owners, when the time comes that they are ready to file lawsuits. So they've got something in their pocket, Eric West. We posted a lot of his stuff. So check him out and just get caught up, get it informed, Selby.
Get informed, because Maui by the numbers indicates that in 2023 and 2022 that Oprah Winfrey got a ton of land for pennies on the dollar because of a very, very shady and questionable real estate deal. Now she owns 1,000 acres on Maui. And before the fire happened, she hired private firefighters before the explosions even started. Okay. Now she has private security guards guarding her property, which was not touched by the fire, not because she had private firefighters, but because it was not touched by the direct energy weapon explosions. Okay. And that's Oprah by the numbers on Maui. Now, we've already talked about how much money $1 billion is, because somebody in the thread said The Rock and Oprah The Rock and Oprah started this fund with $10 million of their own money. That isn't true. They didn't put their money in and then our money is going to add to that. They're starting the counter at 10 million, but there's no actual dollar value of their money in the account. Okay. Now, you know how many millions it takes to make $1 billion? She's a billionaire twice and a half over, and she's asking for the public's money.
Lots of zeros.
It's unconscionable. And somebody else said, well, what has she done besides being wealthy? Listen, I'm not going to give you everybody an education on what it takes to be a billionaire in the world and what kind of a person you have to be to get let into that club that George Carlin talks about. It's a club and you ain't in it. Okay. She's in it. And not very many women are. Now think about who her friends are. Bill Gates. Think about who the billionaires are. Okay. And here she's standing there handing out pillows. Remember the first couple of days at these rescue centers? Get the out of here. Take that pillow and shove it up your rosy red behind. Why don't you open up your property to let people on there so they can recover? Why don't you tear down that fence so we can get a good glimpse of what's going on behind there, Oprah? Sorry, I get a little excited.
Awesome, man. Selby, rock on, man.
So that's the number behind the Oprah, numbers behind the Oprah thing. But seriously, if you want to take a deeper dive into exactly how people get to become millionaires, this is not the place to start. This is not a starter show. Okay. This is a continuing education program, not the beginning of your education. So anyway, for those who don't know how people become billionaires and what they have to do to get there and stay in that club, go do your research. And you're not going to find out at NBC, ABC, CBS, or on the Oprah show. Anyway.
On Selby. Yeah. Now let's talk about the child trafficking side of it. Go.
That's what I'm saying. How do you think you get to stay in that club? You must do what they say.
Okay. Numbers. We're back to math.
Okay, go ahead.
One of my all-time worst subjects.
Math. I'm ready.
Ugh. From my research, there's approximately 14,000 residents of Lahaina, Hawaii, Maui. Now, even with the restaurants and whatever, that part that really burned
on Front Street. all that.
Yes, Front Street, the economic hub of Lahaina. That's where a lot of people would have been congregated. Okay. And as fast as that thing moved in, call it the wind, call it what you want, call it an act. We'll just call it an act. It could be an act of God. It could be an act of terrorism. It could be an act of whatever you want to call it. It's an act. The
yes,
act.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Still to this day, we're looking at like 120 people that died and 300 and some people that are missing. Okay. With the children all being at home during this time.
Because they let school out.
Right.
The internet didn't work. Phones didn't work.
Right.
The water was turned off.
The power was off. Everything. It was, the act was the perfect storm. But my math, I mean, 14,000 people to only have that many. I don't know.
That's what they're saying. Who said that? NBC, CBS, the Oprah show?
Those are the numbers that's what I'm saying.
It's way higher than that.
I think the Oprah show had lower numbers.
Yeah.
20, according to the last US Census, 25% of that population are people under the age of 18 years old. So I don't know. We will just leave that where it is. Okay, the numbers, Eric West, Oprah, and The Rock, Aquaman's going against them. You saw that.
Yeah.
The big
yes. Yes.
Biden.
Jason Momoa. Jason's our man.
Biden comes out, and I could not for the life of me find the video of him talking about his aid or his whatever that was on the ground in Maui before the fires.
Ooh.
He glitched. Not as bad as that other glitch that Mitch had. Mitch the glitch.
Mitch the glitch. Poor old Mitch McConnell. They just keep carting him out there, don't they? Oh, yeah. And now the doctors are saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's absolutely no sign of stroke.
No,
okay,
no.
Then why don't you tell us what would make a man stop mid-sentence after a lady tapped him on the hand?
What could be?
Not a stroke. What could that be?
What could be wrong? What could be wrong? Nothing.
Oh, boy.
While we were in our last little rant, Selby.
Yes.
I checked. Our approval rating this week after the week off dropped from 116 to 106. So we got
to get it back up there.
We got to get it back up there. We got to keep going. And getting back to that Eric West, and then we'll leave Maui until next week.
Okay.
I like this. He now considers himself, or he has termed himself, a citizen journalist.
Great.
I think, Jackie, you and I could consider ourselves citizen journalists in a way.
For sure.
I like that. I like that moniker. So let's try.
I do too. The guy keeps getting kicked off the side of the highway, and they won't tell him why. I mean, his videos are truly engaging in a very honest way, in a non-entertainment way.
Yeah, it's just he's just out trying to do it.
He's like, what law am I breaking? They're like, you just have to go, and they're wearing guns, and what can he say?
Right. Okay. I watched a really cool deal on Netflix the other night about the blue zones, Selby.
Yes. People who live a long time. Let's talk. You want to talk about Japan?
Okinawa, Sardinia, Costa Rica, Greece, all, I would say, Mediterranean climate, all by the ocean. And they have like the high people living their longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Through, some of the factors were people lived on hills. So this one old lady, Sully, she was like 96, and she walked up the hill to church every day. I mean, none of them obviously were they weren't lighting up Marlboros on the thing either. I mean, they're living clean lives, clean living, clean food.
And they're happy. Yeah.
and they're happy. One, I think she was on Okinawa.
Yeah.
And that was her thing. She says, well, I live this longevity because I don't let things, I don't rule 62. I don't take things too seriously. I just let things roll. It goes into, well, you've got the uplifting prayer later, but it goes into sort of just behaving yourself. People just need to behave themselves.
They do.
They really do.
People need to behave, but I don't know that they are. Now, listen, in the blue zones, one of the things is that they eat fish, a lot of fish, especially in Okinawa, and they swim. People in Okinawa, they just walk out into the ocean. I mean, it's very tepid, wonderful climate. But here's the bummer. That's not the fish they sell you at Costco. Okay. Farm-raised salmon, new article out that farm-raised salmon, which is what you get at Costco, is the I eat more than chicken. The farm-raised salmon is one of the most toxic foods. It's because of where they grow it, how they grow these fish, what they feed them. It's a scrum, I guess, which has a whole lot of yucky things. And because they don't have the proper swimming ability, the scrum sits in there and they rot. And so that they give them a chemical so that their guts don't rot the scrum that they're fed. And that is a known carcinogen. So no more farm-raised salmon, please. I know.
You're polluting the podcast, Selby, with your talk of food additives,
of Oprah and additives.
Oprah, my Florida water out.
He's got his Florida water.
My moon water.
Let me
Gee.
get my crystals. There's my big crystal, and let me get my forgiveness stick. Will you forgive me?
I've got my new crystals. I'm going to start working those together.
Here's my peace sticks. I know it's a lot. It is a lot. It's a lot. I'm sorry about that, Scott.
All right.
You want to go to the Bible?
I'm going to go to the Bible. I've got one picked out, Selby.
Oh, good.
All right. We're going to go, this is towards like the middle here.
Good, because we know we're living in the back of the Bible, but go ahead and find something good in the middle.
Okay, this is from Jeremiah.
All right. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, Lord.
I know.
You deceived me. Oh, this is Jeremiah 20.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yes. Oh, Lord, you deceived me. When the camel and the cow in the field yearned for the grass, your commandment instructed us that thou shalt not drive below 45 miles per hour in the left lane of thy interstate.
Right there. There it was.
We get so much information out of that little book,
Yep, we really do.
It's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy.
Okay, if somebody's going through something right now, this I hope that this is gonna help you. Ready? I don't know if I've told you this one before. Eat more chicken. All right. If it's not the happy ending, then it's not yet the ending. It's not over till it's over. If it's not the happy ending, it's not yet the ending. Because the ending will be happy. In other words, it'll all work out.
Yeah, it does. It just, what people do, Selby, I'm just into it makes me look like I'm a professor or something, I just do this and then what it does, Selby, what it does. let you know that like expectations, and people put these gauges and these meters on their lives about how this should be and how that should be, and these levels. And if they don't meet that, then that just causes bad juju, bad energy. It messes with your whole alignment. It messes with your health. It stresses you, which causes everything. The best that I can do, and I can just wake up and practice, that's all I can do. Am I probably gonna give a no looker in traffic? Yes. Am I going to give multiple no lookers in traffic?
Probably give them one of
Yes,
these.
probably so. But all I can do is practice not doing that, and if I live in that very moment in time, I have the best chance, instead of letting my mind,
Fair
get
enough.
yeah. So yeah, it's just,
So that's our informed opinion.
don't put parameters on things,
Yeah, I like it.
I like, I'll get to that really quick. Did you see these people, Jackie? They took their wedding pictures
Yes.
at the Olive Garden, and they told their friends, let me bring this up. They told their friends that they were taking these pictures in Italy.
And they went to, at 6 a.m. They went to the Olive Garden and took pictures.
Look at this beautiful Italian wedding. Just awesome.
Pretty great.
I love that. I love that shit. That's great.
Really cute dress on the girl too.
Oh man.
She didn't look like a hooker.
We were talking about all those. Well, we were talking about the fire, these catastrophes that happened. We won't even talk about me looking into the comparisons between Maui and Haiti earthquake and the number of children that disappeared from that. We'll get into that. Maybe we'll dive into that a little bit next week.
Oh man.
Because we're on the high plane of the podcast right now. We don't want to bring it down.
No,
we're
not.
Doing good right where we're at.
Yep.
So
so for next week, let's we got to remember people behaving badly.
Yes.
Haitian
earthquake.
Yeah, Haitian earthquake. Oh, before we go, I have a recipe.
Oh no, we're not going anywhere, Selby.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I did bring up lyrics. Now listen to these lyrics. This is a band, perhaps you've heard of them, Rapid Eye Movement.
Yes, REM, yeah.
It's the end of the world as we know it. Okay. We're just going to read these. That's great. It starts with an earthquake. Birds and snakes and aeroplanes.
Aeroplanes.
Lenny Bruce is not afraid. Eye of a hurricane.
Eye of the hurricane.
Listen to yourself churn. World serves its own needs. Don't misserve your own needs. Speed it up a notch. Speed, grunt, no strength. The ladder starts to clatter with a fear of height, down, height. Wire and a fire represent the 7 games and a government for hire and a combat site. Left her wasn't coming in a hurry with the furries breathing down your neck. Team
wow,
IT,
the furries breathing down your neck. Yeah.
Trump tethered, cropped. Look at that low plane. Fine, then. It just read it. It's, I don't know. It's the end of the world as we know it, Selby.
It's everything. Yeah. And
okay.
that song's old.
And that song is old.
Mm-hmm.
What are you cooking? What is your recipe? Let me see if it meets the leisure standards.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
It's only 3 ingredients.
I love it already.
All right. Cloves.
Mm-hmm.
cinnamon sticks,
Okay.
big jug of, the kind of jars I like, the big mason jars,
The mason jars.
hot water over that
Okay.
and let it steep.
Okay.
Now you're going to strain it.
Distilled water.
Fine.
Or
At least
filtered.
Filtered.
Yeah.
No tap water, dude. No, but it's boiling,
Okay.
right? And then let it cool down and strain it. Now you've got yourself a really yummy alcohol-free mouthwash. Put one bottle right in the bathroom and then take a spray bottle in the car. Bad breath, coffee breath.
Yeah. And you could walk right down to Hobby Lobby and get the spray bottles and pay cash.
Pay cash for them.
Yeah.
Okay, what's our song?
I have the book out. Okay. 1001 songs you must hear before you die.
Mm-hmm. REM, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
You Ought to Know by Alanis Morissette.
Oh, so good. So good.
She's so angry. It's awesome.
That's like me today. Now, when I'm just going to say, when we first started 98.5, 96.5 The Peak,
okay,
we played the version with the cuss words in it.
Okay. Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
But then when I went to work in pop music, they cut that word out.
Mm-hmm.
And then forevermore, there's been an edit. So nobody plays the cuss word version, not even those satellite services. We'll say when you.
At the old Mile High Stadium, I saw her, they wedged her between Big Head Todd and the Monsters and Dave Matthews at the
nice.
old. Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Okay. Approval rating, citizen journalist Scott Leisure, Jackie Selby. This is informed opinion every week. You're excused. Thursday nights, 6 p.m. We then will post the episodes on my personal website, scottleisure.com, on the Spotify, and on the YouTube. Is everybody clear on that?
Clear as mud.
Clear as mud. Perfect. In the meantime, in the next week, we want you to do this. We want you to pay cash.
Pay cash. Where's my pile of cash?
We want you to get informed. We want you to stay informed. Do not send money to Oprah Winfrey, whatever you fucking do. Okay?
Please.
Get some cardio. Drink some good water. Walk up a hill. Go to the place where you can buy the freshest produce and ingredients and go home and cook yourself
a home cooked meal.
A home cooked meal. Those little things will add up. Live in the moment. Don't take things too seriously. Flip off that mofo that just blew by you at 120 miles while you're already driving 20 miles over the speed limit. And just keep doing what you're doing and behave. I think that's the moral of tonight's podcast, Selby. People behave.
I need to behave. I don't know why I'm so cross today, but I really am. That whole Oprah thing fires me up.
You came out on fire, girl.
Oh, that Oprah thing fires me up. Bang.
I could feel the brimstone.
Sorry.
On the Informed Opinion podcast.
Sometimes we're a little more elegant on here. Today was Jackie not being so elegant, but that damn Oprah thing makes me so mad.
And remember, The Rock was born in California. He wasn't born in Hawaii. No.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Next week. Until then, be watching for our posts. Friend us on Facebook. Find us on Facebook. Let us know if you have any issues. Let us know if you have any suggestions. Let us know if you want to be on the podcast. Maybe you have an issue you're going through. Maybe the government burned down your house with a laser. I don't know. But if we can help and we can get some information out to more people,
We would love to do so.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, not sorry, really. I'm not really sorry. But anyway, see you then.
Be good, Selby. Behave.
You too. Bye, Scott.
All right. Ciao.